Hello everyone, my name is Morgan and welcome back to my Tarot Pick a Card YouTube channel. I have recently started making these tarot videos because I am just obsessed with all things tarot, and I like to write about tarot as well. I am a writer, so I have a little blog that I would love for you to check out. There's tons of spiritual related content on there. It's not just tarot, so go give that a go if that is something that you are interested in. Otherwise, let's get started. So the question I wanted to ask the cards today is a really fun one. It's, what psychic gifts do you have and how can you go about unlocking these psychic gifts? And we are all born with psychic gifts, okay? And when we are a child, these gifts are very prevalent. We notice these gifts a lot more. We hear stories about children communicating with spirits, saying that they've found spirits, saying that they have an imaginary friend, and we kind of suppress that knowledge. We say that it's not real. We say that it's false, that they need to snap back into reality. And because we're conditioned this way, we kind of repress that knowledge and we repress those gifts because those gifts aren't seen as something that is acceptable in this society or something that is helpful necessarily. So there is a way to tap back into those gifts, though. There is a way to come back to those ways of knowing. And everybody has different psychic gifts, so you might not recognize your own psychic gifts because you're not tapping into the right ones. You could be tapping into your clairvoyancy skills, but your real strength is being clairauditory. There's so many different ways we can exercise these psychic skills and these psychic interests, and that's what I'm going to be looking at today. And so because I am going to be looking at different gifts, there's going to be a lot of different messages that will be coming through. So all of these readings are general readings, right? But this one might appear to be a little more general, so that the specifics might not necessarily sit with you as well, because I'm going to be naming off probably multiple different psychic traits per group, right? And it's unlikely that you'll possess them all. Maybe you do, but if I say I think you're an empath, I think you're really good at empathy, and you don't identify with that, then that's okay. Just take what serves you, right? Not everything is necessarily going to serve you in all of these readings. And also today I am trying out a different camera angle, so if you've watched my videos before, you'd know that the camera has zoomed in a little bit, that I don't have any props anymore, so I feel like it's more important to have a good view of the cards rather than to have a good setup, like to have lots of props. I feel like it's much better just to see the cards for as they are than to be distracted by everything else. So that's why I've done it like this today. Pile 1 will be the peace sign. Pile 2 will be the heart. And pile 3 will be the music note. Okay, so group 1, if you chose the peace sign, then this reading is for you. Hey guys, so I'm just going to incorporate this little voiceover before we even start the video. This is kind of a trigger warning, so some mention of drugs and drug use did come up in this reading, and I did debate cutting it out, but as a reader, I don't really feel great doing that. I don't feel like that's morally right to cut out a portion of the reading. And I was walking outside, taking a break from editing, and was just thinking about, should I keep this in or should I take it out? And I did actually find some magic mushrooms just growing naturally outside, and I took that as a sign to include this in the video, because I know that drug use is something that a lot of people experience, and addiction is something that a lot of people struggle with, and people might look to tarot to try and figure those things out. So I'm not going to remove any part of the video, but just a little bit of a trigger warning. Get started off with your tarot like always. The Tower, the Moon. Ooh, we have 2 majors already. Ace of Pentacles. Interesting. Okay, so what I am getting so far from this reading is that I feel like your psychic powers are very prevalent in times of need, in times of crisis. I feel like for a lot of you, you have had near-death experiences, you've had out-of-body experiences, and these experiences have allowed you to feel things about the world, have allowed you to sense things about the world, that have allowed you to intuitively receive some messages. And I feel like it's possible that because of that, because your messages so far have likely been limited to only have experiencing them in times of crisis, that you're a little bit scared of fully unlocking these skills, because the only experience you've had with them is to cope with challenging times and to cope with bad times. But I feel like for a lot of you too, because we have the Moon card, you receive a lot of psychic messages in your dreams. There's a lot that comes to you in your dreams. So pay attention to dream magic, pay attention to dream work. I don't know if lucid dreaming or astral projection is something that you are interested in, but if it is, I would definitely recommend giving that a go. I feel like you are a person that I feel like one of your psychic traits is that you are a person who can easily cross over to the astral plane. That doesn't necessarily mean astral projecting, but when you meditate, you have a very easy time visualizing things. When you dream, you have vivid dreams. And that is why so much of your psychic powers have showed up in these times of crisis, is because these times of crisis have brought about like a more likelihood of connection with the astral plane. Page of Pentacles. Okay, so I feel like, I'm definitely getting like money energy as well. Like, I feel like you're good at manifesting money. I feel like you're really good at working with like prosperity type magic. You're really good at making things come to you. Maybe you always have like a really good job. You always have a really well-paying job, or you're just somebody who always seems like you're financially secure, or you're the friend that can help build a friend's resume. It can help get a friend a job. You get your friends jobs, and that might not seem like a psychic power necessarily, but manifesting and putting yourself in a place where you can attract money, where you're in this vibrational state where money comes to you, that is definitely a psychic trait. And also another message I could be getting from this is that you need to work in an area that can really help these psychic traits foster. So maybe that for some of you that is working in an area where you see a lot of crisis, where you know you're a crisis worker, you're an emergency responder, you work in the ER, there's so many different types of jobs, or you just need to work in an somewhere to do with finances, right? And you work in finances and you can help people because you do have this gift of about receiving money. I don't know, maybe you're a Capricorn or something. Lover. So this says, for the light attributes, great passion and devotion, unbridled appreciation of someone or something. Shadow attributes, obsessive passion that harms others, self-destructive devotion. Okay, and then we have Knight. So light attributes, loyalty, romance, and chivalry, a love of honor. Shadow attributes, allegiance to a destructive ruler or principle, romantic delusions. Okay, so interesting. I feel like you guys are good at manifesting a proper home environment, if that makes sense, because with the Ace of with the Pentacles, we're talking about things in our physical world, right? We're talking about our home, our family, our relationships as well. Like it's the physical, right? It's the tangible things, and sometimes we don't think about relationships as necessarily tangible, but you know, the home and the family are definitely built off of love and relationships. So I feel like you guys are very helpful, and I feel like you guys are helpful in all senses of the world, because I think that you are good at manifesting things, and I think that that is because you have a very, very high vibrational quality to you. Again, I am getting like massive Capricorn drive here. Like I just feel like you guys have your passions, you stick with what you love, and then you just go for it. And that manifestation is a psychic quality. You know, you dream about things and then you make them happen. And I feel like too, though, the downside of this is that because you feel like you can make everything happen, you kind of want to save everybody, and you kind of want to, show everybody how you do things and how you're successful, but other people just aren't there, and they don't have the same type of vibration that you have. So a challenge is to help people, but in a way that doesn't seem overbearing. Okay. 7th chakra, so that's the crown chakra. Ooh, and the 1st chakra. Okay. So this is a little bit of confirmation for me, because we're talking about connection to the universe, right? And then with the 1st chakra, we're talking about the physical environment. Again, we're talking about the root chakra. We're talking about connection to the home, connection to security. And I feel like because these cards are right beside each other, it's saying that you do have this power to unconsciously or subconsciously connect to the environment, to the world around you, to energy, in order to achieve these things in your physical environment. I feel like for sure so far we have out-of-body experiences, near-death experiences, we have dreams, and we have a lot of manifestation. These are so far the psychic qualities that are coming through. So maybe we can see a little bit more about how we can tap into them. rejoice in celebration, trapped in fear. Okay, so yeah, for sure. Like what I said before about, because you probably have had some scary experiences before where things have kind of come into light, then you probably are a little bit anxious, you're a little bit fearful about moving forward, about fully accepting these gifts. And the cards are telling you that you don't have to be, that these gifts deserve to be celebrated, and that's your first step in unlocking your gifts, is celebrating your gifts and celebrating what you're good at. And so this is the Everyday Witch card. So this will be a direct piece of advice, right? It's everyday, it's wisdom for the everyday witch. So this card is saying meditation to dig deep. Like I said, meditation is great for you because you are so close with the astral plane, and we're getting that confirmation here as well. You are able to cross over to that plane. That plane, you're able to connect with energy very well, and I feel like you need meditation in order to unravel these fears, in order to really get into the heart of why you're scared, and then to set intention to what you really want to do, right? Like, how can you help people with this? Because I'm feeling like so far you've got it for yourself. You've done a good job of getting things and manifesting things that you need in your life, but I feel like the challenge right now is to try and help other people. That's what you're stepping into. Ignore the preceding. Interesting. Okay. So, you can ignore everything I just said. No, just kidding. I feel like meditation is helpful for you, but at the same time, sometimes our bad experiences are left out of our conscious mind for a reason. So there might come a time when it feels right to dig deep, but right now might not be that time. And again, like, I am not a therapist, I'm not a psychiatrist, I don't have any sort of formal training in this. But listen to your own intuition that tells you what you need to work on. I am all about shadow work. I am all about unraveling those hidden aspects of ourselves, but sometimes we just need to surround ourselves by positive energy. And I feel like because you guys are so receptive of energy, you can work with energy so well. It might be way too triggering to dig into that right away. But I feel like this is going to come at some point, right? You're going to have to unravel these bad experiences at some point, but probably not right away. Dragged. Okay. So definitely what I'm getting from this card is that some of you guys do struggle with addiction, and being in a state of being under the influence has definitely affected your psychic traits. You might have been less receptive because of drugs, or you might also have been more receptive. You might have had very, very actual positive experiences using hallucinogenics or even smoking weed, possibly, where you might feel like the only way you can access your skills and your abilities is if you are under the influence. And this is going to differ for everybody. So take this card as an omen. I'm not going to tell you to go out there and do drugs, but I'm also not going to tell you to not do drugs, because I feel like that is just not my place to say anything in a general reading. So take from this card what you will, but I definitely know that substances have, you know, some sort of play within your experience, and you know, you might even choose to use some more herbal substances that would not necessarily be considered like recreational drugs, some legal substances like mugwort. Sometimes I smoke mugwort. That is psychoactive though, so be careful. And even peppermint tea is like really good for divination. But yeah, it's interesting that this card is coming up, because there's definitely some sort of impactfulness of drugs. Also, something that I feel like is worth mentioning is that if you do smoke a lot of weed, especially if you smoke a lot of weed before sleep, your dreams will be affected. You don't hit a REM sleep when you smoke cannabis, so you don't hit a deeper sleep, so your dreams are usually not as vivid and you have a harder time remembering your dreams. And I feel like dreams are really, really important for what you are trying to achieve right now. So just take with that what you will. Cannabis can also improve visualization though for meditation. Like there's good and bad aspects to it. So I'm not going to tell you what to do with drugs or what not to do with drugs. Coming to life. Okay. Magical map shifter. Okay, so yeah, for sure. You are a manifester. You are a natural manifester for sure. And these powers are coming into fruition right now. You're just starting to realize what you can do and what you're capable of, and you're just figuring out how to help other people. So your energy, your vibration is lining up right now, and you're starting to realize that you can connect to the astral plane really quickly. You are able to access that state really quickly. For sure, yeah. And like I said, out of body experiences, dreams, manifestation. There's a lot here. There's a lot of potential here. But I feel as if you guys are actually really stepping in to your psychic traits, because there isn't actually a lot of advice that was given here. We had meditation to dig deep, but even then we were told that this isn't the right time for that. Just celebrate your gifts. And yeah, I feel like also, and what I'm just realizing now is that some of you might be able to communicate with angels really effectively, and even if you don't really know how to communicate with them now, they are definitely watching out for you at this time. They're guiding you on your right path in order to celebrate and unlock these gifts. Your angels are by your side. They're sending you signs. They're it's almost like the cards are saying you don't need any advice because your angels have got you. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this reading. Come again soon. So group 2, if you chose the heart, this reading is for you. And I'm sorry if you're watching this video and you can hear the lawnmower in the background. It's super annoying. But we'll make do. Okay, so we'll start with your tarot cards as always. Okay. So 7 of Pentacles, I am getting the sense that you're just tapping into these gifts now and you kind of don't know what to do next. So you've planted these seeds and you're like, how do I harvest them? How do I fully embrace my gifts? How do I fully embrace my skills? You know, you're on your spiritual path right now and you're like, what can I do next? What can I do next? Which makes sense. This is why you clicked on this video. Okay. And what the cards are saying is that you are almost there. Okay? You're almost there. I feel like some of you might be working a little bit too hard. You might be kind of stressing yourself out a little bit. You might be carrying a lot of like shame and guilt, just thinking that you're not doing enough, thinking that, you know, because you do this, because you participate in X thing, you can't be a fully spiritual person, or, you know, because you do drugs, because you eat meat. You know, there's so many different ways, and I feel like this is really weighing on you, and the cards are just telling you like you're doing enough, okay? Like you're doing enough. Everybody has their own spiritual path. You don't need to compare yourself to everyone on TikTok or Instagram or whatever. Okay, 2 of Cups. So immediately, relationships with other people. That is important in your psychic journey. So that could mean a couple things. That could mean telepathy. It could mean that you connect really well with other people psychically. You know what people are thinking without them having to say it. And there's actually a game that my sister and I play that I recommend, and basically you sit across from each other, you make eye contact, and you both say a word. So say, I say gnome and she says frog. And then we both have to think of a word, the first word that comes to our mind, and then we keep doing that until the words match up. So it would be gnome and frog, and then say, I say garden and she says fairy. Then we have to, okay, garden and fairy. Okay, what's a word? Okay, and then we both say mushroom, and then yay, it all works out. We've unlocked our telepathic gifts. Just a fun little game I feel like would be useful if you think telepathy is a gift for you. Okay, the devil. So I'm getting a couple things from this card. First of all, I feel like some of you like to work with dark deities. And there is nothing wrong with working with the dark deity, okay? I like to work with Lilith, right? She's a dark goddess. She's great. But there's nothing wrong with working with these dark deities, for sure. So don't be scared of that. And I just felt the need to jump in here and say that working with deities is an advanced spiritual practice, and working with dark deities is even more advanced. It's a little more, you know, there is a risk element associated to it. So only
work with these deities if they're calling to you, and if that is something that you are comfortable with in working with your practice. It is not something for beginners.
Yeah, I feel like you have just felt very confined. I feel like there might have been external reasons as to why you feel like you can't open up your gifts. Maybe you come from a very religious household. There's so many reasons why. Maybe you just come from like a science background, and it's unusual to you to tap into other frames of knowledge. So I feel like just being a little easier on yourself and just not necessarily overburdening yourself a lot. I feel like just taking it easy. And I think what's really important for you to explore your gifts is to do what you think you need to do intuitively instead of doing what every other person is doing. So you don't need to watch this video and then feel obligated to follow everything that I am saying, feel obligated to act out everything I am saying. No, you don't need to do that. So just take it easy, for sure. Take it easy. That's definitely a message I'm getting, because I feel as if you're working too hard, then spirit will be less likely to give you messages because they don't want to overburden you. Mother, nurturing, patience, unconditional love, joy, and birth to life. That was the, oh, interesting. Eternal child, determination to remain young in the body, mind, and spirit, ability to see things with fresh eyes. Okay, so what this kind of tells me is that you have this duality here where the shadow attributes, I feel like, cancel themselves out because you have good qualities from being both like a mother archetype and the eternal child archetype. And I feel like a lot of you are very caring. I feel like a lot of you are empaths because you do have a mother-like quality for you. You like to care for other people and treat other people well, and you just have an enhanced sense of empathy where you are able to feel like what other people are feeling. And I feel like that too with the Two of Cups, for sure. With the Eternal Child card, I'm just feeling like you're really good at inner child work. You're really good at just embracing the great parts about youth and embracing what it means to be young. And I feel like because you have these like eternal child qualities to you, it will be easy for you to tap into your psychic powers because you don't carry any sort of doubt with them. Like, you don't carry any embarrassment, whereas you might have before. But you embrace this, and you're ready to embrace this at this point in your life, I feel like. Sixth chakra. Interesting that like every person, so group one got a couple chakra cards as well. So what this chakra card is saying is that your third eye is very open. So all this work you have been doing in order to tap into your skills, it's working, okay? And even if you don't notice it's working, it's because you need to take a little bit of a break and just let these things come to you naturally. Woman holding a heart, yeah, I feel like for a lot of you, you are just empathetic and caring. And it's funny that empathy is a psychic trait. And I say this to somebody every time they say, I don't believe in a sixth sense. I don't believe in psychic powers. I don't believe in, the third eye or whatever, I always say, well, empathy is a psychic trait, and if you believe in empathy, then you believe that psychics exist. I definitely feel like you're very caring, and too, we have a lot of female energy here. So I feel like you do have a strong connection with the divine feminine for sure, with that, and with the third eye being open. Conflict and defeat. Yeah. So I feel like because you are so empathetic and you are so connected to people emotionally, it's really hard for you to experience defeat or criticism or witnessing bad things happen to other people, and it's a struggle. And what you're going to have to face is learning to protect your own feelings and learning to protect your own emotions. I actually have a blog post about grounding, centering, and shielding that I will link below, because I think shielding would be a really great exercise for you. And the base chakra, interesting, like I said, the group 1 had the base chakra as well in one of their chakra cards, so interesting. Yeah, I feel like with the base chakra, we're dealing with sense of security, with a sense of belonging, and I feel like you're starting to realize now that you're safe, and you're safe to explore these gifts. So just remind yourself that you're good. Like there's nothing, you don't need to carry any sort of anxiety about your spirituality. Right? You're good. Accept love. Okay. This is great. This is our wisdom card. This is the everyday witch card. So accepting love. You can give people love, you can give people care all you want, but you need to accept love as well in order to replenish your body, in order to replenish your energy cycles, right? You need love as a person. So when people are there offering you help, and this can mean help within spiritual growth, right? When people are here offering you any sort of help, accept it, right? And don't be afraid to ask for it, and don't be afraid to ask for love and affection if you need it, because when you keep saying you don't want affection, when you keep blocking yourself off like that, then people stop offering it. Nobody here but us folk. Okay. So for sure, connecting with other people, you're able to read in to other people really well, and I feel like you are the kind of person who just radiates this energy where you're around people and they feel like it's just you guys in this world, because you're so good at connecting with other people. And what the cards are trying to tell you is that whatever happened in the past, whatever shame you are carrying for whatever reason, the shame that you're starting to wear off, you're starting to get rid of it, but I feel like there's still a little bit there, right? Your base chakra is opening, but I feel like you still carry a little bit of shame. Going forward, that it is a blank slate, right? Tomorrow is a new day. Tomorrow you can accomplish anything. And your mistakes are in the past. Heal the ouch. It's actually funny because when I get this card, I think of it as the empath card. I think of it as this is just coming through so strongly. I feel like if you are watching this video, you are a kind and considerate person, okay? You care for other people so much, and it's important to care for yourself too, and to just forgive yourself. Encouragement, yeah, okay. So nice. Such a nice little card. I love that card. When other people are telling you you're doing a good job, you're doing a good job, okay? Even though I just told you were doing a good job, that your third eye is open, that you're doing enough, and I feel like you're gonna listen to this and you're still gonna be like, no, I'm not doing enough. You are doing enough. And like, listen to other people when they say that you're doing enough, because they're telling the truth. Other people do know you. You might think that nobody knows you as good as you know yourself, which is very true, but in some circumstances we don't know ourselves. We're trapped by fear and anxiety, right? You did pull the devil card, right? You are trapped by something, and I feel like it's fear. Yeah, so you're very caring. You could also be a person that is telepathic. You could also be a person that works with dark deities, and that's what you're meant to do. Just take care of yourself. Just give yourself some credit for all that you do. And that will be the next step in unlocking your psychic gifts, is to just take it easy so that you are receptive of those messages. So if you chose the music note for group 3, this reading is for you. So we're gonna start with your tarot cards as always. Okay, 9 of Pentacles, Page of Cups, the Emperor. Okay. I think that you are really good at communicating with animals. I think you are good at communicating with things in their natural element, whether that be animals or whether that be physical things like crystals and rocks, or little pieces of nature like a pine cone or an acorn, or maybe you really like to talk to trees. But I definitely feel like for some of you, animals are where it's at. And I feel like animals gravitate towards you as well with the Emperor card. Like, I feel like animals always like you. Animals seem to follow you. So you're able to communicate really well with them, and you're meant to kind of lead them in a sense. Like, I feel like you're a person who is meant to have a pet in this lifetime. The Hanged Man. So I am getting like quite a bit of like masculine energy here, so you might have a very strong connection to the divine masculine, but I think that in order to step into your gifts a little bit more, you might need to kind of embrace this role and look at things from a different perspective. So maybe you have always been connected to animals, but you feel weird or silly connecting to or speaking to a bird in public. And I definitely get that with the Page of Cups, how you're kind of overcoming that, because the Page of Cups talks about the inner child and, you know, expecting the unexpected. That's why there is a fish in the cup, because it's just weird. It's just meant to be weird. It's meant to be unexpected, right? And with the Nine of Pentacles, I almost think of this card as like Snow White, just like a princess like playing in the forest. Like, obviously you don't have to like want to be like a traditionally feminine princess, of course, but that's what I feel like whenever I pull this card, because it is talking about like luxury, but then she's holding this like bird and she's outside, right? Like she's very at peace with herself. She loves her life, but she loves her life, part of the reason why is because she's surrounded by nature. So I feel like the cards are telling you that this is a possibility to be this like cute little princess in the cottage, like that is achievable, right? Like think about like how happy Snow White was, right? Even like I said, even if you don't want to be that archetype, she was happy just being surrounded by animals. Monk, none. Okay, so okay, for sure. Selfless devotion and single-minded dedication to spirit. When I think about this, I'm thinking about spirit of place. I'm thinking about recognizing that every single thing in our environment has life. They have a spirit to them, right? They have a soul. Like everything has spiritual capabilities behind it. And I feel like you're a person that can easily see that. You're a person that can find value in picking up a rock and just thinking this is a special rock and this is going to serve me a purpose because I know that this rock carries energy. You know, you're a person that really believes in crystals. You believe in carrying herbs around with you. Like, you believe that everything has a spirit to it. Child, orphan. Independence based on learning to go at it alone. Conquering fear of surviving. Okay, and for our shadow attributes, we have feelings of abandonment that stifle maturation, seeking an appropriate surrogate from families. So I feel like this could be talking about how you could not necessarily want to fully embrace these gifts because you know that everything has a life cycle to it. And you know that, you know, if you adopt a pet, you know that if you go out into the forest and talk to a frog, then that frog will disappear at the end of the day and you'll never get to see it again. And this connection that you've built with this frog will always be there. Just because it was temporary, just because it lasted in like the physical body, it doesn't mean that just because this frog's physical body has left doesn't mean that the frog isn't still there in spirit. And this card can come from, you know, fear of abandonment issues. This could come from a past of just feeling like you had to go at it alone. But again, there is the light side to this card, which we're talking about independence based off learning to go at it alone, which is why I can really see you thriving in this environment. I can see you going on walks and just enjoying yourself, just being with spirit of place and just connecting to the elements or collecting moon water at night because you like to drink moon water when you wake up in the morning, or you like to use moon water in your practice and you find value in water. And that's something that you're doing by yourself, right? You're not doing that by connecting with other people. You're doing that with connecting to the elements that have already been presented to you, right? Like, that's the beauty of you having this archetype, is that you don't need anybody else to develop your practice with, right? There's spirit everywhere, and you're able to recognize that. But you might still have those fears of, what if these things are temporary, or what if I lose this crystal? But remember that when something leaves us, it's because its energy has done all it can do. It's overworked itself. It's completed its task. Action. So take action. So go out and do this. Go out and do all this stuff that I've been saying. Talk to animals. Connect with the elements that you really feel like you connect with. Connect with the things that you feel like you connect with. Guardian in the gate. So I'm not gonna say that you have these fears around moving forward, but I will say that you want to stay in a place that is secure for you. You want to stay with the fence with your key around your neck. You can get in there, right? You can get into the fence, and you know there's a beautiful garden awaiting, but you want to stay where it's comfortable. So abundance awaits, and this opportunity for psychic knowledge awaits. You just have to be open and receptive to it. And I love too that, you know, we do have the little butterflies here. We have a lot of animals on this card. You know, we have the horses here as well. You're ready. You just have to believe that you're ready, and you have to take action and take that next step. Like for you, it's really just about going out there and doing it. Going out there and connecting with things. Going out there and connecting with your environment. Harmony. Yeah, I feel like this is like the archetype for the Lovers card. So I feel like you radiate a peaceful, gentle vibe to you, which is why you can kind of be a master of these elements, because you give off a very calming, sweet, loving energy to you, and I feel like everything is attracted to you. Like, I feel like you find little gifts on the ground from like fairies and angels and your spirit guides a lot, just because they want to love you, and they want to help you. And I feel like this is the same way with animals and other elemental features. Deception and envy. So I feel like for you, some anxiety over these kinds of gifts is that you might be jealous of other people's gifts. You might wish that you could be more clairvoyant, so you're working really hard at tapping into your clairvoyancy. You might wish that you had telekinetic powers, so you just spend all day trying to move objects with your mind. And it's okay to try and tap into those other gifts, but you were born with certain gifts for a reason. And the people that you're jealous of are probably jealous of you too. Like, I wish I could connect with animals more. I really like nature and I like being within nature, but I feel like I'm not a person that can really like speak to animals. Like that's definitely not one of my psychic traits. That's not what I'm good at. And I wish I could be good at that. You know, it's like the grass is always greener at the other side. So don't be jealous about what other people have, because what you have is pretty damn great. I'm not going to read that reverse. Doesn't make sense. Affirmation for acceptance. Yeah, so I feel like a lot of this is just accepting yourself for who you are. Just accepting your gifts for what they are. And embracing your inner child, embracing your independency as a child, embracing all of this in order to really step into your power, because I feel like you will be very, very powerful. I see that for sure. You know, it just might mean shaking things up a little bit, seeing things from a new perspective. Who is watching the cosmic drama? My favorite card. This talks about perspective and observation and reality. So we create our own reality, and it's hard to know whether or not we are like actors or observers in this reality. But you have the power to create your own reality. You have the power to step into these gifts if you want to. You have the power to take action if you want to, but that is up to you. And other people will observe you, right? When you go out there and you talk to a squirrel in public, when you are just collecting seashells on the beach, people are going to look at you, and you have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with like being your goofiest, silliest, childish self, because you have that in you. You just have to fully embrace that. The path. Okay, so you're on the path, but it's blocked right now. Why is the path blocked? Because you're not taking action. Okay? You're blocked by... I feel like your heart chakra might be blocked a little bit, because we have the heart in reverse here, and then we do have like, I feel like quite a bit of green on here, so I feel like your heart chakra needs tending to, just because I feel like you need to just have a little bit more compassion over yourself and over the work that you'd like to do. So you need to really love stepping into this role. Like I said, you have to be fully there and then willing to do it. But the only way you're going to be comfortable with existing in the world in this way is to actually get out there and do it. Moonlight. Okay, so you're definitely like an intuitive person as well. You're very intuitive, which is why you know how to communicate better with spirit. And again, we have an owl here, and we did have some crows here as well. Lots of animals, lots of communication with animals. Yeah, very intuitive. You know when a situation is bad, and you know when a situation needs running from, and your intuition is telling you that this situation is right. Your intuition is telling you that this role is something that you should be stepping into. But it's your fears that are, and your perceptions of the world that are preventing this from fully happening. So I invite you to take action. Oh my goodness. Spirit of place. What an amazing final card. Just a confirmation that you see life in everything. You see life in all of its forms. It's animism, man. And you can just connect to and talk to animals so well. I feel like this is the message that is coming in so strong. A lot of other groups had like a couple messages in their reading, but you basically just have this one that's coming in really, really strong, that you're good at communicating with animals, and you're good at talking to animals, and you're good at recognizing the beauty and the wonder of all things. It just takes a little bit of stepping into. You need to take action in order to make yourself comfortable in this role. Well, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope some of this resonated with you. Go on and talk to your animals, and it would pick the animals you like the most too, and talk to them. Like pick the animals you connect the most with. Pick the crystals you connect with the most with, right? Or like even look out for like animal omens is really interesting. Go on a walk and take note of what animals you see. There's so many different ways to connect with spirit of place. There's so many different ways. Even just like looking at traditional indigenous teachings, I feel like would be really great for you. Accepting some of those practices, of course, in a way that isn't appropriative and is very respectful of their culture. But I feel like that would be very, very useful for you. Okay, thank you.